Alright, so this is my review of the season finale of NCIS Sydney. And as goofy as this show is, and it's hella goofy, considering the twist at the end, now I really hope it gets renewed. But anyway, so it starts with this obviously creepy clown, and he didn't even bother to try being a clown. and the kids are speaking with him, the parents leave him. It's like, really? One of them even pointed out that what a creepy clown he is, that he's not even remotely funny, he's this, he's that. And the woman, because, she got a legitimate clown, it's just, well, things didn't go well. So, of course, she waved it off, but at the same time, okay, you went through legitimate means, but shit happens. Your husband is a cop. So, and now he's working with NCIS. So, maybe, just because you went through legitimate means, maybe keep your bullshit meter working. But she wasn't. And she tried to call JD because, of course, he was supposed to be at Jack's 9th birthday party. And instead, they're interrogating this girl. And, so, of course, they don't get anywhere with her until they finally get a name out of her. Anonymous. And I'm just like, okay. I question whether this is supposed to be a parody of shows like NCIS and CSI and things like that. Now I'm convinced it's meant to be a parody, because how can you hear Anonymous and not figure out? I'm so glad that when the FBI came, they figured it out, because I have to admit, yeah, they had every right to question the whole outfit, because no, that's not how this works. It is perfectly obvious. But anyway, so Beck keeps trying to call JD. Keeps trying to call, and she notices that he's looking at his phone, and she's like, I think you should take this. Now, the way she said it was less concerning, like, someone is seriously trying to call you, dude, maybe you should pick it up, as more than shady. So I don't blame JD for thinking she knew something. But anyway, so he takes the call, finds out that Jack has been kidnapped. Now, how he made Jack disappear and nobody noticed that he was sending him and putting him into the van, like, the creepy child abductors, stereotype. I mean, okay. Like I said, the show is ridiculous, but so then JD comes and Beck lays into him that he should have been here, that if he was here, that Jack would still be here. And if JD is as bright as Beck seems to be, and the fact that he doesn't seem to have a problem with Anonymous, not noticing that it's anonymous, all I can say is not a lot of intelligence. I do not think that even if he was there, that Jack would be safe. Because both his parents are morons. But, so JD takes that in. Even though he's holding her and she rips into him, you're an ex-husband, not an ex-father. And he explained it away that he had this thing going. And now at this point, he's obviously emotionally compromised because, this is his kid. So when he comes back and tells everybody what's happened, that they took Jack and they want a swap, at that point, Mackie said, okay, I'm on lead. You need to sit this out. And I thought, okay, great. That means that nobody's going to loop him in on anything. Because, he might do something stupid. And what do? They track down a van. And they're checking it for explosives. And JD gets the call telling him this. And I'm just screaming, why are you telling him anything? I mean, let him hang out with Rosie when Rosie's giving him sage advice. Like, him and Alice had been married for 40 years, and the only reason they survived it was because for half of it he was deployed halfway around the world. And how in their line of work they have to make sacrifices and things like that. Fine, let him chat with Rosie. But no, they have to call him and tell him about a lead. And so JD hears a muffled voice. So he immediately assumes it's Jack. So he makes a run for it. And they try to stop him. So what does the van do? It explodes. Now, whether it would have exploded, whether he ran to the van or not, I do not know. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't rigged to explode because JD ran to the van. And this is why you do not loop him in on things like this, because then he does something spectacularly stupid, like run to a possibly rigged van that, someone might rig to explode when someone is running towards it or something. But anyway, they go back and he's giving out orders, and I'm like, where's Mackie? And why the holy hell are you guys, perfectly fine with looping him in when he is thinking about getting his son back? Now, Mackie, in the meantime, had been talking with Rankin, who, she asked him to keep the feds at bay for this very reason, and he's like, I get it. I have kids at home. So, I understand that you don't want, you want to get the kid back. But on the other hand, she's wanted by all these agencies. So, and JD even did something spectacularly dumb, like run into her interrogation room and threaten her. And I'm like, okay, that's helpful. Again, why are we letting him anywhere near this? Because he's, let him go home or hang out with Beck, even if they're exes. Something, anything but having anything to do with this case, because what the hell? So, Blue is able to get a sketch of the man under the makeup, and they discover that he is super religious, because that's what the conifer represents. Okay, fine. So they go to the Eastern Orthodox Church, and they talk with the priest, and they, first he says that he's not going to throw his parishioners to the wolves, and JD's like, he is the wolf. And still, I can't help you. I don't know who that is. Now, on the one hand, I was suspicious of the pontiff because, I'm sorry, but you claim that, there are too many, that you have a lot of men who look like that, but then say you're not going to throw any one of your parishioners to the wolves. So which is it? Do you have no idea who he is? Or are you protecting him? I mean, those are your only two options. So they go by a delicatessen, and JD basically threatens the worker there so he could get a log of their deliveries. And one of them is to a storage locker. So they go to the storage locker, and these people are super, super bright because they don't look down ever. So you see this laser beam going through, straight ahead from one wall to the other. And not only do they not notice it, they gleefully walk through. And I was expecting a booby trap. But no, it wasn't a booby trap, but it was what turns out to be an early detection system. Because she looks up and she sees the green bulb and says he knew that we were coming. Yes, because you tripped the trigger. I mean, my God, these people make the Keystone Cops look intelligent. What the hell? So, but then JD gets totally bummed, like he just found out his son was killed because his hat is left behind. And so he comes back totally dejected, and he gets a call from the clown telling him, where to meet him. Of course, he doesn't share this with anybody because, again, he's not thinking straight because this is his kid. So you can't expect him to think straight. And which is why he should not be anywhere near this case. But that doesn't stop anybody from letting him. I realize NCIS Sydney is like 4 people, but dude, I mean, yes, that would put you down a man, but considering granted, he's made some good decisions, but he also made some totally boneheaded ones. So anyway, Deshawn and Evie are doing a inventory of the evidence before the feds come and take Anna away. Because again, nobody has picked up on Anonymous. So they find what Deshawn says is the James Bond thingy, or 007. I'm not sure which one he said. And JD gets an idea. So he goes to, with Mackie in tow, he goes to Anna and basically makes it look like she was going to be sold out, that she was supposed to die at, along with everybody else, which she had oxygen there. I mean, after the 2 hour limit, the everything was supposed to unlock, right? I mean, in theory, everything was supposed to unlock. I'm just... Ugh. But anyway, he convinces her that there was no off switch, and that she was being sold out, and that the reason they want the swap is that they want to kill her. So, at this time, the feds finally come. Rankin did give them a heads up that this was happening. They held them off as long as he could. And, so they all come along with Rankin. And she's trying to stall them. So, which made me wonder, does she know that... Now, was she just trying to stall them because she just didn't want to give up her prisoner? Or was she stalling because she actually knew that JD was going to leave with her? And based on how it ended, I'm leaning towards she knew damn well what was happening. Maybe not where he went, but that he was going to do this. So, the feds leave in a huff after they mock the team incessantly for Anonymous, because, I mean, as much as I want to step in that FBI agent's face, because he's a total jerk, I can't say anything about the Anonymous thing, because, yeah, they are being really, really dumb. So, so they go off to, I don't know, search for her. Well, obviously we never saw them again, so they did a really bad job. But they might still catch her because of the ending. So JD pulls up in a van. They first find out that she's gone, and she's like, what the hell? So again, at this point, I thought, okay, JD went completely rogue. Unfortunately, based on what happened at the end, I think she knew exactly, and she was just acting. So, Rankin seemed to leave with the feds, and so now it's a matter of trying to find where JD went. So JD finds a phone, and for some reason puts his phone in place of the other one, because that makes sense. I mean, he already was making sure he couldn't be... He did say he made sure he couldn't be followed, so maybe he was also doing it with his phone, thinking, oh, yeah, they could follow that. So I guess that's possible, or he's being dumb. One of the two. I guess it could be a bit of both, too. So they go to this quarry, and I honestly thought till the very end that this was a dummy and not his kid. Turns out I was wrong. So it looks like he wanted to shoot JD. Shoot him in the head. I'm not sure why. I mean, he brought Anna. So he even asked, so what name are you using this week, darling? Anna. So, okay, why are we killing JD? I mean, to traumatize the kid? Anyway, I mean, he isn't going to stop them. He's just wants his kid back because he's thinking like a father and not a cop, which, again, nobody can blame him. So, she gets out of her cuffs and shoots him. I guess they said his name was Yuri, and shoots him dead. And then she discovers that he lied to her, that he actually took out the piece that would make the off switch work so he could trick her into helping. She notices it, and, he's like, well, wouldn't you do the same if you were in my position? Based on her reaction, I think the answer is actually could be yes. It's unclear. But, she gave him, I guess, her phone? Now, what I'd like to know is where the hell are Avi and D? I mean, shouldn't they have been there by now? Maybe they'll catch up. Maybe they're the ones who'll catch up to her if there is a season 2, because she gets away. And he calls the number. And whose phone rings? Rankin's. So Mackie shows her gun and says, "Are you going to answer that, Colonel?" Now, things just got interesting. So it seems like our DOD representative is, I wouldn't say a bad guy per se, because we don't know what his relationship is to this whole organization. We don't actually know what this organization is supposed to do. It could be that he's selling state secrets because he's in the position to do that, or either he's a double agent or a triple agent. For those who don't know, that means that it looks like he's going to double cross one side when in reality he's actually double crossing the other side. And so who knows? We don't know what the deal is, but the fact that he's not answering that leads me to believe that he's just a double agent. So this is going to be interesting, and all I can say is Mackie is gonna be pissed. My condolences to Rankin. Rest in peace, because you are going to die. I mean, she is not going to be happy at this turn of events that she got played. But then again, she already got played with Anna. Because, again, Jesus Christ, how dumb do you have to be? Anna Nemes. That sounds a lot like Anonymous. You think? But anyway, things just got very interesting, so I'm really curious, and I hope that this show gets renewed just so we can find out the deal with Rankin. Oh yes, he did suddenly appear at NCIS headquarters, claiming that, he's going to help them, find a satellite so they can track JD, because he didn't want to be tracked. And no, the reason was that it had something more to do with Anna. Now, again, I don't know how long he's been working with the DOD, so it's entirely possible that he was turned while working at the DOD or before, and he just planted himself with the DOD. So many questions about Rankin now. Rankin just became super interesting in one scene. So, yeah, just for that, I would love to have a season 2. Otherwise, this show, I mean, it would have been nice if you said this was a parody or a dramedy or something, because I mean, it's just such a silly show. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing. Oh, Blue is adorable when he brought up the satellites and she goes, "Can we have one of those?" Um, Let me see. Um, hmm. I believe that's all I have. Yeah, I believe that's all I have. Of course, there was more banter between Dee and Avi, and I mean, it was cute banter. It was reminiscent of the beginning of the season. So maybe that's what Avi meant in the bunker, that she wanted to just be friends, have everything go back to the way it was before. She said when it became messy. And when did it become messy? Because she started developing feelings for him, or it seemed like he was developing feelings for her, or what did she mean by that? But anyway, it seems like things are back to normal, which I'm glad about. I think, yeah, I think now I've covered everything I wanted to. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.